That's him! Or the other him. I'm confused. I'm not sure how this thing works.
Come on, the Creepypasta Jr.
Don't play dumb with me! I got a call from you, or the other you. The MCP that's trapped in the Bizarro universe.
Please, why would I ever call you saying something like that?
No, you didn't call me. The other MCP called me. The one... I'm so confused.
Okay. I will be the judge of this. Tell me something that only MCP would know.
My favorite creepypasta is You're Not Scared Right by Miss Shadow Lovely.
Okay, he checks out.
Okay.
Man, things sound so differently when I hear them from the other world. It's not my favorite creepypasta. You should know that. Whoa, you can't just walk away. What are you... Gotta be kidding me. I was relying on you guys to... Oh, well, at least I have you guys, right? I've always got you guys here with me. I don't exactly know how. Billy? Billy? Where in the heck was Billy? He was here. Well, I've still got you and the very last book of all creepypastas on Earth. After that jerk went and deleted the others. Might as well read them off to you one by one from Otherworld. Tonight's story: Invoking Ganesh. Sandeep was cleaning the slushy machine when his first customer committed suicide. The gunshot popped like a Diwali firework and shattered the rear window of the girl's Camry. At first, Sandeep thought she had a backfire, until he saw the spiderweb of cracks in the glass and the spray of blood. It was 2:34 a.m. The young woman had just bought a pack of cigarettes. "Merritt's in a box," she said, and proceeded to light one up right in front of the register. You can't do that here," Sandeep said. He knew it was going to be a long night. The girl responded to his scolding by blowing a cloud of blue, mentholated smoke towards the hot dog rollers. She was in her early 20s, brunette with blue eyes, and an aquiline nose through which she was defyingly French inhaling her smoke. She was wearing a scoop-front leopard print tank top, distressed jeans, and high heels. Her makeup and jewelry looked as if she'd just left a nightclub, though the nearest venue was over 4 hours away in Albuquerque. "You gonna stop me, Haji?" she asked. "Miss, I don't want any trouble." "You think I'm trouble?" She trailed her fingers along the hostess display, knocking several fruit pies onto the floor. She let out a high, barking laugh that rang out loudly in the empty store. "That's awesome. I'm trouble. Troublesome. Double trouble. The girl your mother warned you about. Please leave now," Sandeep said. "All right there, Gandhi. Don't you get your diaper in a twist." She turned on her heel and pushed through the door. Sandeep emerged from behind the counter and peered around the open sign to watch her cross the parking lot to her Toyota. The scent of her cigarette and perfume lingered. He stooped and restored the fruit pies to their rack and threw out 5 hot dogs. The young woman climbed into her car but remained parked beside the pump. A tiny blue cloud escaped through her window. "You can't smoke near the pumps," Sandeep said to himself. He shook his head and bent to retrieve a rag out of a red bucket below the beverage station. He began wiping the slushy nozzles when the shot fired. 911, what's your emergency? "A girl just shot herself in the parking lot." "Okay, just stay on the line with me, sir. Where are you located?" "On Route 70, east of Roswell, at the Come and Go." "We're sending someone now. Are you with the girl?" "No, I'm calling you." "Where is she now?" "She's still in her car." What is her condition? Good God, woman! The back of her head is gone! She's dead! Please remain calm, sir. We're sending someone out right now. Stay where you are. All right. The line disconnected, and Sandeep thumbed the number for his manager, Dick Blythnick. The call went immediately to voicemail. Boss, there's been a shot, man. A woman shot herself in the parking lot. I called 911, but you really need to get out here, man. Just then, the door chimed and swung open. A large, hairy man dressed in denim stepped inside. Sandeep hung up the phone and stared dumbfounded at the new customer, and wondered if he'd seen the dead girl. Busy night, huh? The man said. Yeah, said Sandeep. Busy night. The man strolled up and down the aisles, idly taking his time with his selections. He had a full beard and an earring. He had a blue bandana tied around his head, buccaneer style, then whistled as he shopped. Sandeep glanced outside and saw a Kenworth parked on the far side of the parking lot. No trailer was attached to the rig, and it looked like it was still running. The trucker would have walked right past the dead girl's car to enter the store. It was a miracle he hadn't noticed her. Or had he? When he'd made his selections, the trucker approached Sandeep and meticulously laid a package of good and plenty, some Twizzlers, corn nuts, and a Red Bull before him. He leaned on the counter with his arms slightly akimbo. The front of his denim jacket opened, and Sandeep saw a 9mm in leather holster under the man's left arm. Will that be all? Sandeep said. And this, he said. He plucked a pink stuffed elephant from a rack. He's gonna look out for roadblocks and obstacles for me. Set him right on the dashboard for good luck. Sandeep rung up his purchases when the trucker cradled the elephant to his cheek. His salt and pepper beard crinkled against the tag which read, Webkins. The elephant looked at Sandeep from the man's shoulder with an accusatory stare. Wait, he laid a rumpled single on the counter. I want these numbers. 33, 84, 22, 10, 37, 71, and 9. All right, Sandeep replied. He took the bill and pulled up the numbers while the trucker cuddled the elephant some more. Sandeep reached subtly below the counter and fingered the knob of a cricket bat that he kept there just for reassurance when he handed over the lottery ticket. Can I get the keys to your John? Sandeep reached above the cigarettes and retrieved the brass key chained to a broken broom handle. The trucker gathered his purchase in both arms, strode to the door, and pushed it open with his backside. 3:02 a.m. Sandeep went out to empty the trash by the pumps. He needed to keep busy, but figured that the can nearest the dead girl's car could wait till they came for her. The wind gusted from the southeast like a dusty hairdryer. The Milky Way stretched from the northern horizon over the roof of the store. The neon sign that said Lotto winked seductively on and off. A meteor traced a white line to the west and was gone. A Mercedes had pulled up 10 minutes before and still sat outside the car wash. The driver's silhouette moved slightly in the sodium lights. Sandeep was hauling a bag of paper towels and greasy Carl's Jr. wrappers to the dumpster when he noticed the blood trickling out from under the restroom door. He dropped the trash and banged on the door. Hello? He cried. Sir? Are you all right in there? He shook the handle. Hello? Sandeep stood back and tried to avoid stepping in the puddle. Helplessly, he took in the tableau, the dilapidated outbuilding, the grimy locked door, the sublime darkness of the desert, and the blood. God damn, Dick, I told you we needed another key! Red and blue lights cut through the darkness on the horizon. Sandeep turned and could see the cruiser still about 2 miles away across the flat skillet of the plain. About time, he said. The cop broke down the restroom door first. Inside, the trucker had eaten all of the good and plenty, Twizzlers, half the corn nuts, and finished off the Red Bull, before he'd smashed the mirror and slit his wrist with a shard of glass. Good God, man, whispered Sandeep. The cop rummaged through some papers on the floor in front of the dead trucker. He plucked up some correspondence from a divorce lawyer and something from Teamsters Local 74 detailing severance benefits. The cop whistled as he read the documents. Christ, my union would give me so much more payout if I were to get the axe. The lottery ticket fluttered from the cop's hand to the edge of the sink. He picked it up, considered it, and turned to Sandeep. Here, he said, tucking the ticket into Sandeep's shirt pocket, right below the embroidered Come and Go logo. He peered at Sandeep's name tag. You keep it, Sandeep. Maybe you'll have better luck than he did. They searched the girl's car next. The cop took in her outfit. The tight jeans, the high heels, the makeup. He made a show of peering down the front of her tank top to where one of her small breasts lay partially exposed. She's dressed to kill, ain't she? He asked Sandeep with a leer. The back seat was drenched in blood, and the head restraint had been blasted apart by the gunshot. It looked like a bottle of cotton or a cloud of powder being thrown. The cop turned the key in the ignition. The speakers came alive and Katy Perry blasted out mid-roar. The cop snapped off the radio. Hate that song, he said. The young woman's cell phone, which had been charging in the power jack, blinked on. The cop retrieved it and scrolled through recent series of texts. Where are you at, fatty? He read aloud. Still crying? LOL. Why don't you just die? Everyone hates you. Your clothes suck. Where do you get them? Walmart? Dumb slut, fat bitch. He tossed the phone back to the passenger seat. I guess we know who she dressed to kill, huh? How awful, said Sandeep. The cop straightened. All right. Let me call the coroner and I'll meet you inside. The cop flicked a piece of headdress foam from his sleeves as he sauntered over to his cruiser. The car wash started up, and the Mercedes rolled slowly inside. Steam rose and floated away on the wind eastward toward Clovis and the Texas Panhandle. Back inside the store, the cop made himself a cup of coffee. He shook 3 packets of Dixie crystals into it and topped it off with a powdered bone-dry creamer. He didn't offer to pay for it. You're not from around here, are you? The officer sauntered over to the magazine aisle and then thumbed through the racks as he spoke. No, I'm from Mumbai, replied Sandeep. That's, Bombay in English, right? The cop replied. He plucked up a copy of Barely Legal and made a show of trying to peer sideways through the plastic wrapper. Sure. Bombay, huh? Said the cop. How far do you say that is from here? I don't know, replied Sandeep. It's a 12-hour plane ride just to get from Mumbai to L.A. Bombay to L.A. Huh. Funny how Columbus came to America looking for you guys. He still has a long way to go. Did you work in a gas station before coming to the States? No, I was a physicist. The cop looked nonplussed. Why are you working here? I'm waiting on my security clearance to work in Los Alamos. But being a foreign national makes the process longer. Got any family? A wife and daughter. Back in Mumbai. Huh. The cop scrutinized a section of young female flesh at the corner of the magazine. Play any sports? For a while. I was a semi-pro cricket player. Cricket? What's that? It's like baseball? No, it's nothing like baseball. How do they handle suicides back home for y'all? How do they handle them? Yeah, like, is it illegal? Will you go to hell for it? Is it like Japan where you're off yourself after missing someone's birthday? No. For Hindi, suicides is not acceptable because it's like a murder, but there is fasting to death. But that's only acceptable for people who have no will to live or responsibilities or family or children. Starving yourself. That'd take too long. You'd have to be pretty committed to pull that one off. I think these people were very committed, said Sandeep, gesturing towards the parking lot. What about lighting yourself on fire? That's called sute. Widows would throw themselves on their husband's funeral pyres. They don't do that anymore. Just then the car wash alarm went off. The cop peered over the top of the magazine. The alarm shrieked incessantly from behind the counter. The trouble light strobed from atop the car wash shed and washed the desert scrub across the highway. Sandeep stepped behind the counter and snapped off the alarm as the cop pushed through the door. Inside the wash, the soap wands frothed foam where they had retracted to the ceiling during the emergency shutoff. The air was thick with steam and cleaning fluid. Sandeep and the cop stepped through the ankle-deep puddles to where the Mercedes still tilted at an awkward angle. As they came around the front end, Sandeep spotted the guy's leg. It was folded up into the driver's side fender. The drainage trough was opaque with blood. "Holy shit!" cried Sandeep as he took in the grisly scene. "Is that an acceptable way to go in Bombay?" He crouched down on his haunches for a closer look. The guy had apparently left his vehicle and laid face down in the tracks where the car wash pulled the car forward. He had shoved a brand new Ping driver through the wash's safety lever. Whether he hoped to drown himself, crush himself, or foul the car wash's works with himself, who knew? But he got all three. "Holy shit, man!" cried Sandeep. The front wheel had rolled over the guy's ass and crushed his spine and ribcage before splitting his skull like a ripe avocado. His belt had got caught in the brake rotor and pulled his backside and legs up inside the wheel and around the tire like a donut around a rolling pin. The cop stood back up, using the hood of the Mercedes to steady himself. "Guess I better tell the coroner to bring another truck." 3:43 a.m. Your call is getting answered by an automated voice messaging system. Dick Blyfnick is not available. At the tone, please record your message. After you are finished, you may simply hang up or press pound for more options. "Dick, answer your fucking phone, man!" The door chimed, and the cop entered the store again. This time, disconcertingly, he had his shotgun with him. "Well," he said, "I told dispatch that we got a trifecta out here now." "What's taking so long?" said Sandeep. He took hold of the cricket bat again, and only then realized his hand was shaking. "Dunno," said the cop, "but I found repo papers from that Mercedes and a foreclosure notice from a ranch in Santa Fe in the glass guy's car." Cop strode to the counter. He noticed a small golden figurine sitting on top of the register. He was seated in a full lotus position and had 4 arms and an elephant's head. The cop picked up the figurine. "Who is this little elephant guy?" he asked. Sandeep replied, "That is Ganesh. He is the remover of obstacles." "What obstacles are you hoping he'll remove?" the cop asked as he laid the figurine back on the register. "What do you mean?" asked Sandeep. "I mean, what do you want him to help you with? Getting your clearance? Getting out of this shithole? Getting your wife and kids?" The cop switched his rifle to his other shoulder. "Sure, I guess," said Sandeep. "You said you had a daughter, right, Sandeep?" "Yes." "How old?" She's 4. "Yeah, mine are about 4 when she was shot." What did you say?" "She found my gun, and she got shot." "I'm so sorry." "That's my obstacle, Sandeep. My obstacle." He dropped the rifle down into both hands. "Can Ganesh remove my obstacle for me?" Sandeep grasped a hold of the cricket bat. "I would love to have your obstacles, Sandeep." The cop looked up and down the length of his weapon, considering it lovingly. "You know what else I love?" "No," whispered Sandeep. Chamber music. Sandeep's brow furrowed. He stepped slightly back from the counter, making no attempt to hide the bat now. "This is my instrument," the cop said, hoisting the rifle. "It's like a violin ready to play dirges at our funeral." Sandeep raised his bat. "I cradle it to my shoulder and draw my hand across it like a bow." He pulled the pump back defyingly, and a round entered the chamber with a loud clack. Hear that? It's like music. Chamber music. Sandeep swung the cricket back before the cop had a chance to level the barrel in his direction. He swung it with more force than he'd ever used to strike back home. The bat connected with the rifle's muzzle, and it knocked it towards the storefront window. The gun went off, and the open sign exploded with a rain of pink and blue glass. He brought the bat down across the cop's arm and knocked the rifle to the floor. Then he leapt over the counter and took off down the snack aisle, faster than he'd ever run the pitches. The rifle went off and struck the display nearest his right shoulder, powdering the Doritos as Sandeep burst outside. In the parking lot, Sandeep turned back to the store to see the cop coming through the door. Holding only the cricket bat, Sandeep took in his options. The bat, the pistol in the restroom, and the dead girl's car, and the 4 vehicles. The Mercedes was too fouled with the late driver's body. The driver's seat of the Toyota was still occupied. Sandeep couldn't drive a semi. "You know what, Sandeep?" asked the cop. He crossed the lot towards the pump. "I think your Ganesh is going to remove my obstacle tonight." He grasped the hose still plugged into the young girl's car and withdrew the nozzle. "You think that Sati is my key?" He pressed the trigger on the handle of the nozzle and baptized himself in premium unleaded. "I should have been the dead one," he shouted. The gas dripped from his outstretched arm. "It should have been me. My little girl was cremated. I should have crawled in there with her." "What are you doing, man?" cried Sandeep. The cop pulled a Zippo lighter from his breast pocket, right beside his gleaming badge. "No! Please don't!" The cop flicked on the lighter. He blossomed like a lotus of flames, with his arms still outstretched, like Agni accepting a sacrifice. The orange tongues rose to the ceiling of the canopy and blackened it with pork-flavored smoke. The cop dropped to his knees and slumped forward onto the pavement at the rear of the Toyota. Sandeep stared in horror. Then he noticed the fire from the cop's body was reaching the gas nozzles that lay on the ground nearest his feet. Suddenly, Sandeep awoke from his stupor of shock. The flames licked at the edge of the gas line, and the pyre of dead cops still stood between him and the emergency shutoff inside. Sandeep dropped the cricket bat and leaped to the cop's cruiser. He slammed it into gear and stomped on the accelerator as the first of the pumps exploded. He swerved and fumbled the door of the cruiser closed as the speedometer neared 80, and the darkness of the night swallowed him whole. Through the rearview mirror, Sandeep could see the burning gas station illuminating the desert like a giant lantern. The radio murmured something in the corner of his hearing. Tonight's winning Mega Millions numbers are 33, 84, 22, 10, 37, 71, and 9.